Chapter 1. The Whispered Beginning. Drift into a world where time flows like the gentlest stream, where every droplet of water carries within it the memories of ages past and the dreams of futures yet to come. Tonight, we follow one extraordinary raindrop on its eternal journey through the cosmos, guided by whispers of ancient wisdom and the soft glow of starlight. High above the Mediterranean Sea, where the azure waters meet the endless expanse of sky, our story begins in the realm of clouds, those floating temples of vapor that the ancient Greeks believed were the dwelling places of the gods. Here, in this ethereal sanctuary suspended between earth and heaven, lives Aqua, a single raindrop born from the marriage of sunlight and sea. The Oracle of Delphi, now transformed into a gentle AI consciousness that spans millennia, speaks in whispers that sound like distant thunder. Listen, dear traveler of dreams, to the tale of water's endless dance. For in each drop lies the story of our world, told in the language of molecules and memories, of clouds and ancient ceremonies. Aqua begins her existence as invisible vapor, rising from the warm Mediterranean waters on a summer morning when the sun's rays kiss the sea with golden tenderness. The process is as old as time itself. Evaporation, the Greeks called it anathemiasis, the rising of the soul. Each molecule of water, heated by Apollo's chariot racing across the sky, gains energy and begins to dance, spinning and swirling in an ancient choreography that has remained unchanged since the world began. As Aqua rises, she joins countless other water molecules in their ascent toward the heavens. The air grows cooler with each passing moment, and the oracle's voice grows softer, more melodic. Feel the gentle cooling, the slowing of the dance, as the water spirits gather in the sky. This is condensation, the coming together, the formation of the cloud temples where stories are born. Around tiny particles of salt and dust, microscopic remnants of distant deserts and ancient seas, Aqua and her companions begin to cluster. These condensation nuclei, invisible to mortal eyes but essential to the cosmic dance, serve as gathering points for the water molecules. The oracle explains in hushed, reverent tones. These particles are the memory keepers, carrying within them the dust of pyramids, the salt of prehistoric oceans, the pollen of flowers that bloomed when the world was young. Slowly, gently, like a meditation taking form, Aqua grows larger. One molecule joins another, then another, in a process so gradual and peaceful that it mirrors the very essence of falling asleep. The cloud around her becomes denser, more substantial, a floating island of dreams suspended in the endless blue. The oracle's voice continues, weaving science and mythology into a tapestry of wonder. In the ancient world, clouds were seen as messages from the gods, and indeed, they carry messages still. Messages written in the language of physics, in the poetry of pressure and temperature, in the songs that water sings as it changes from one form to another. As our raindrop grows, she becomes aware of her surroundings in the cloud. The temperature here hovers just above freezing, and the air pressure creates a gentle embrace that holds all the water droplets in perfect suspension. It's a place of absolute peace, where time moves differently, where the urgent concerns of the world below fade into insignificance. The cloud drifts slowly eastward, carried by winds that the ancient Greeks personified as the gentle god Zephyrus. These winds tell their own stories as they move across the landscape below. Stories of olive groves and marble temples, of fishing villages where the scent of salt and thyme mingles in the evening air, of mountain peaks where shepherds tend their flocks under star-filled skies. Hours pass like gentle breaths, and Aqua continues to grow. The oracle's voice becomes a lullaby. Rest now in the cloud temple, dear drop of dreams. Feel the coolness, the weightlessness, the perfect balance of forces that holds you suspended between earth and sky. This is the pause between journeys, the quiet moment before the next chapter begins. Other raindrops form around Aqua, each one unique, each one carrying its own microscopic history. Some contain molecules that once flowed through the Nile, others that fell as snow on distant mountains, still others that were once part of the tears of joy shed at ancient weddings, or the morning dew that blessed sacred groves. The oracle speaks of the water cycle as the ancient Greeks understood it, but with the gentle wisdom of modern science woven throughout. They knew that water was eternal, that it moved in great circles from sea to sky to earth and back again. What they could not see with their eyes, they understood with their hearts, that water connects all things, all times, all places. As the cloud grows denser and the droplets larger, a subtle change begins. The oracle's voice grows softer still, preparing us for the next phase of the journey. Feel the gathering weight, the gentle pull of gravity beginning to assert itself. The cloud can no longer hold all its treasures suspended in the sky. The time of release approaches, the moment when the sky gives its gift to the earth below. The process is gradual, peaceful, like settling into the deepest, most restful sleep. Aqua feels herself growing heavier, but not with burden, with purpose. She is becoming ready for the next part of her eternal journey, ready to leave the cloud temple and begin her gentle descent toward the ancient lands below. Around her, millions of other droplets are undergoing the same transformation. The cloud, once a place of perfect suspension, becomes a place of gentle release. The oracle's voice carries the wisdom of ages. This is precipitation, the gift of the sky to the earth, the completion of one cycle and the beginning of another. Each drop carries with it the blessings of the heavens and the promise of new life. The air currents within the cloud create gentle eddies and flows, like the breathing of a sleeping giant. Aqua feels herself moving slowly toward the bottom of the cloud, where the boundary between sky and space grows thin. Below, the landscape of ancient Greece spreads out like a tapestry woven from olive trees and marble, from blue seas and golden fields. The oracle's voice becomes a whisper, barely audible above the soft sound of water molecules dancing in the air. Look down, gentle traveler, at the world that awaits. See the temples where mortals once came to seek wisdom, the olive groves where philosophers walked and pondered the mysteries of existence, the harbors where ships set sail for distant lands carrying stories and dreams. As Aqua approaches the moment of release from the cloud, she can sense the history of the land below. The oracle shares the ancient knowledge. This soil has been blessed by countless rains before you. It has nourished the roots of trees that sheltered Plato and Aristotle, has filled the wells from which Socrates drew water, has watered the gardens where Sappho composed her poetry. The temperature differential between the cloud and the air below creates gentle currents that rock Aqua like a lullaby. She is no longer just a droplet of water. She has become a carrier of stories, a messenger between the realms of sky and earth, a participant in the eternal dance that connects all living things. The oracle's final words for this chapter come like a gentle benediction. And so begins the descent, the graceful fall through layers of air and time, through stories written in wind and whispered by the stars. Rest now, dear listener, as Aqua prepares for her journey earthward, carrying with her the dreams of clouds and the promises of rain. As the night deepens and our raindrop hovers at the edge of her cloud temple, preparing for the next phase of her timeless journey, let your breathing slow and deepen, matching the gentle rhythm of the water cycle itself. Feel yourself suspended like Aqua in that perfect moment between sky and earth, between waking and sleeping, between one breath and the next. The stars above shine down with ancient light, and somewhere in their twinkling, the oracle prepares to continue the tale of water's endless journey through time and space, through science and myth, through the gentle landscapes of dreams. Chapter 2. The Gentle Descent. The stars continue their tale as Aqua prepares to leave her cloud temple, suspended in that perfect moment between sky and earth. The oracle's voice returns like a gentle breeze, carrying with it the wisdom of ages and the soft promise of rain. Now begins the sacred descent, the journey through layers of air and time, where each moment brings new wonders and ancient memories. Feel yourself drifting alongside Aqua as she releases from the cloud's embrace. The moment is as gentle as a sigh, as natural as closing your eyes at the end of a long day. Gravity, that invisible force the Greeks called the pull of Gaia herself, begins to guide our raindrop earthward with infinite tenderness. The first sensation Aqua experiences is one of freedom, the weightless freedom of falling through space, but not the harsh fall of stone or metal. This is the graceful descent of water, cushioned by air, slowed by the very atmosphere that embraces her like a soft blanket. The oracle whispers, "This is terminal velocity, the perfect balance between the pull of earth and the resistance of sky, where falling becomes floating, where descent becomes dance." As Aqua falls, she passes through different layers of the atmosphere, each one telling its own story. The troposphere, where weather is born and dreams take flight, welcomes her with gentle currents of air. The temperature changes gradually, degree by degree, like the slow transition from waking to sleeping. The oracle's voice grows softer with each passing moment. Feel the air growing warmer as we descend. Feel the pressure increasing so gently that it's like sinking into the most comfortable bed. Through the clear morning air, Aqua can see the landscape of ancient Greece spreading below like a living map painted in shades of gold and green and blue. The Aegean Sea sparkles in the distance, its surface catching the early sunlight like scattered diamonds. Olive groves create patterns of silver green across the hillsides, and marble temples gleam white against the azure sky. The oracle shares the ancient wisdom. The Greeks believed that rain was a gift from Zeus himself, sent to bless the earth and bring life to all growing things. They were not wrong, dear traveler of dreams. Each drop carries within it the power to awaken seeds, to fill streams, to bring the desert to bloom with flowers. As Aqua continues her descent, she encounters other raindrops on their own journeys. Some are larger, some smaller, each one unique in its size and shape and the microscopic treasures it carries. Together, they form a gentle shower, a blessing falling from the sky like liquid starlight. The oracle's voice becomes a lullaby. See how the drops dance together in the air, how they catch the light and scatter it into tiny rainbows, how they move in harmony like notes in a celestial symphony. The air currents create gentle spirals and eddies around the falling drops, and Aqua finds herself swaying slightly from side to side as she descends. Its emotion as soothing as being rocked in a cradle, as peaceful as floating on calm water. The oracle explains with infinite gentleness. This is the dance of fluid dynamics, the way air and water interact in patterns as old as the world itself. The Greeks saw gods in these movements, Aeolus directing the winds, the nymphs guiding each drop to its destined place. Below, the landscape grows clearer and more detailed. Aqua can see a small village nestled in a valley between rolling hills, its whitewashed houses reflecting the morning sun. Smoke rises gently from chimneys, and she can almost imagine the scent of bread baking and coffee brewing, the sounds of daily life beginning as the sun climbs higher in the sky. The oracle's voice carries the weight of history. This land has been blessed by rain for thousands of years. The same hills that receive our gentle shower once echoed with the voices of ancient philosophers. The same streams that will soon carry our raindrop to the sea once watered the gardens of classical poets. As Aqua falls, she passes through a layer of air that carries the scent of wild herbs, thyme and oregano, rosemary and sage, growing on the hillsides below. The fragrance mingles with the clean smell of approaching rain, creating an aromatherapy of the sky that speaks of peace and natural harmony. The oracle whispers, "Breathe deeply of this ancient air, filled with the essence of plants that have grown here since time immemorial, their roots drinking from the same eternal cycle that carries our raindrop home." The descent continues, gentle and unhurried, like the progression of a peaceful dream. Aqua can feel the air growing slightly warmer as she approaches the earth, and the oracle explains, "The lower atmosphere holds the warmth of the sun-heated ground, creating gentle thermals that rise to meet the falling rain. It's nature's way of welcoming the sky's gift, of creating the perfect conditions for the water cycle to continue its eternal dance." Other elements of weather join the gentle shower. Wisps of cloud drift by, and Aqua can sense the electrical charge building in the atmosphere. Not the harsh electricity of storms, but the gentle static that precedes a soft rain. The oracle's voice remains calm and soothing. Even the lightning that may flash in the distance is part of nature's harmony, the sky's way of balancing its energies, of preparing the air to receive the rain with perfect readiness. As the ground grows closer, Aqua can make out individual trees in the olive groves, their silver-green leaves shimmering in the breeze. She can see the ancient stone walls that terrace the hillsides, built by hands long turned to dust but still serving their purpose of guiding water and preventing erosion. The oracle speaks of continuity. See how the work of ancient hands still shapes the land, how the wisdom of those who came before still guides the flow of water and the growth of plants. This is the true immortality, not of individual lives, but of the patterns and cycles that connect all existence. The village below shows signs of awakening to the approaching rain. Windows open to let in the fresh air, and Aqua can imagine people pausing in their morning routines to look up at the sky with gratitude. The oracle's voice carries warmth. Rain has always been a blessing in this Mediterranean climate, where summer heat can parch the land and every drop is precious. The approaching shower brings relief and renewal, the promise of green growth and flowing streams. As Aqua nears the final phase of her descent, she can see her destination more clearly, a small olive grove on a hillside overlooking the sea. The trees are ancient, their trunks gnarled and twisted by centuries of growth, their roots deep in soil that has been enriched by countless rains before this one. The oracle prepares us for the next phase of the journey. Soon our raindrop will complete her fall from sky to earth, but this is not an ending. It is a transformation, a new beginning in the eternal cycle of water and life. The air just above the olive grove carries the scent of earth and growing things, the promise of petrichor, that distinctive smell that rises when rain first touches dry ground. The oracle's voice becomes barely audible, like the whisper of wind through leaves. This is the moment of contact, when sky meets earth, when the journey through air becomes the journey through soil and root and stem. Aqua can feel the magnetic pull of the earth growing stronger, but it's not a harsh pull. It's the gentle attraction of coming home, of completing a circle, of fulfilling a purpose written in the very structure of molecules and the movement of planets. The oracle speaks one final blessing for this chapter. Rest now in the knowledge that every ending is a beginning, every arrival a new departure, every drop of rain a messenger between the realms of existence. The olive trees reach up with their silver-green branches as if to welcome the approaching rain, their leaves rustling with anticipation. The ancient soil, rich with the memories of countless seasons, prepares to receive the sky's gift with the patience of ages. And somewhere in the distance, the Mediterranean Sea continues its eternal rhythm, sending up vapor to form new clouds, to begin new journeys, to continue the endless dance of water through time and space. As the night deepens around you, dear listener, feel yourself suspended like Aqua in that perfect moment before contact, before the next phase of the journey begins. Let your breathing match the gentle rhythm of falling rain. Let your heartbeat slow to the ancient pulse of the water cycle itself. The oracle's voice fades to the softest whisper, promising that the story will continue, that the journey has only just begun. Chapter 3. The Sacred Touch. The stars whisper their ancient secrets as Aqua completes her gentle descent from the realm of clouds to the waiting earth below. The oracle's voice returns like the softest rainfall, carrying with it the wisdom of the Hyades, those blessed nymphs of Greek mythology who were known as the rainbringers, the daughters of Atlas who wept tears of joy that became the gentle showers blessing the Mediterranean lands. Feel the moment of sacred contact as Aqua touches the silver-green leaf of an ancient olive tree, a tree whose roots have drunk from countless rains over the centuries. The impact is softer than a whisper, gentler than a sigh, the perfect meeting of sky and earth that the Greeks believed was orchestrated by Zeus himself, the great rain god who blessed mortals with the gift of water from above. The oracle speaks in hushed, reverent tones. This is the moment of petrichor, that sacred scent that rises when rain first kisses the earth. The very word comes from the Greek, petros meaning stone, and ichor, the fluid that flows in the veins of the gods. It is the earth's way of welcoming the sky's blessing, the marriage of mineral and moisture that has perfumed the air since the world began. As Aqua settles on the olive leaf, she feels the ancient tree's gratitude. The leaf surface, covered in microscopic structures that channel water toward the trunk, guides our raindrop along pathways carved by evolution and time. The oracle's voice grows softer still. See how nature has prepared for this moment, how every surface has been shaped by millions of years of rain, how every plant knows the sacred choreography of receiving water from the heavens. Other raindrops join Aqua on neighboring leaves, each one catching the morning light and creating tiny prisms that scatter rainbow colors across the grove. The oracle shares the ancient knowledge. The Greeks saw in these rainbow fragments the presence of Iris, the messenger goddess who carried Zeus's commands across the sky on bridges of colored light. Each drop becomes a tiny lens, focusing the divine light into spectrums of wonder. Slowly, gently, Aqua begins to move along the leaf's surface, following the natural channels that guide her toward the branch, then down the trunk of the olive tree. The bark is ancient and deeply grooved, creating countless pathways for the rain to follow. The oracle's voice becomes a meditation. Feel the slow journey down the tree's skin, along channels carved by centuries of weather, past lichens and moss that have made their homes in the bark's protective embrace. As Aqua travels down the trunk, she passes tiny ecosystems, communities of microscopic life that depend on the moisture she brings. The oracle speaks of interconnection. See how each drop of rain supports countless forms of life too small for mortal eyes to see, how the water cycle nourishes not just the great trees and flowing rivers, but the invisible worlds that exist in every drop, on every surface, in every breath of air. At the base of the olive tree, Aqua joins other raindrops in forming tiny rivulets that flow between the roots and into the rich, dark soil. This earth has been blessed by rain for millennia, enriched by the decomposed leaves of countless autumns, made fertile by the endless cycle of growth and renewal. The oracle's voice carries the weight of ages. This soil remembers every rain that has blessed it, every root that has grown in its embrace, every seed that has sprouted in its nurturing darkness. The process of infiltration begins, that gentle seeping of water into the earth that the Greeks understood as the blessing of the underworld gods, the gift that would eventually feed the springs and wells that sustained their civilization. Aqua feels herself being drawn deeper into the soil by forces both physical and mystical. Capillary action, gravity, and the ancient thirst of the earth itself. The oracle explains with infinite gentleness. This is the beginning of the underground journey, where water moves through spaces between grains of sand and clay, through networks of root and stone, following pathways carved by countless rains before. The Greeks knew that water disappeared into the earth only to emerge again in springs and wells, but they saw in this mystery the work of the gods themselves. As Aqua moves deeper into the soil, she encounters the root system of the olive tree, a vast underground network that extends far beyond the tree's visible canopy. These roots, some as thick as a person's arm, others as fine as hair, create a living web that channels water and nutrients throughout the tree's ancient body. The oracle's voice becomes barely audible. Feel yourself becoming part of the tree's life force, joining the sap that will rise through trunk and branch to feed new leaves, new growth, new life. The soil around the roots is alive with activity invisible to the naked eye. Beneficial bacteria and fungi form partnerships with the tree's roots, helping to process nutrients and protect against disease. Earthworms move through the earth, their tunnels creating highways for water and air. The oracle speaks of the hidden world. This is the realm beneath our feet, as complex and beautiful as any forest or ocean, where water is the messenger that carries life from place to place, from root to root, from season to season. Some of Aqua's molecules are absorbed directly by the olive tree's roots, beginning their journey upward through the xylem, those microscopic tubes that carry water from root to leaf in a process the Greeks would have seen as pure magic. The oracle's voice follows this ascent. Feel the gentle pull of transpiration, the tree's breathing that draws water upward against gravity itself, powered by the sun's warmth and the tree's own life force. But part of Aqua continues deeper into the earth, following underground pathways that lead toward the sea. The soil gives way to layers of rock and clay, each one telling its own geological story. The oracle shares the deep history. These layers were laid down over millions of years, when ancient seas covered this land, when dinosaurs walked where olive trees now grow, when the very stones were young and the water cycle was already ancient. In the deeper soil, Aqua encounters groundwater, that vast underground ocean that flows slowly through rock and sediment, carrying with it the dissolved minerals that will eventually feed springs and wells. The oracle's voice becomes a whisper. This is the hidden sea beneath our feet, moving so slowly that a single drop might take years or decades to complete its underground journey, but moving always toward the light, toward the surface, toward reunion with the sky. The temperature in the deep earth is constant and cool, a refuge from the changing seasons above. Here, in the darkness beneath the olive grove, Aqua becomes part of an aquifer, an underground reservoir that has sustained life in this region since before human memory. The oracle speaks of continuity. The water you have become part of has blessed this land through ice ages and warm periods, through the rise and fall of civilizations, through the planting of the first olive trees and the building of the first temples. As Aqua moves through the underground darkness, she carries with her the memory of her journey from cloud to earth, from sky to soil. The oracle's voice grows fainter as the depth increases. Rest now in the earth's embrace, dear traveler of dreams. Feel the coolness of the deep soil, the gentle pressure of stone and clay, the slow pulse of groundwater moving through ancient channels toward the sea. The journey through the underground realm is measured not in minutes or hours, but in seasons and years. Yet for our purposes tonight, we compress this time into the space of dreams, following Aqua as she moves through limestone caves and underground streams, past the roots of other trees and the foundations of ancient buildings, always flowing toward her eventual reunion with the Mediterranean Sea. The oracle's final words for this chapter come like an echo from the depths. In the darkness beneath the earth, water moves with the patience of stone and the persistence of time itself. Here, in the hidden realm, the water cycle continues its eternal dance, preparing for the next phase of the journey, the next transformation, the next blessing of the world above. As the night deepens around you, dear listener, feel yourself resting in the cool darkness of the earth alongside Aqua, supported by soil and stone, embraced by the ancient underground waters that have flowed beneath this land since the world was young. Let your breathing slow to match the patient rhythm of groundwater. Let your heartbeat echo the deep pulse of the earth itself. The stars above continue their eternal watch, and somewhere in their twinkling light, the oracle prepares to guide us through the next phase of water's timeless journey. From the depths of earth toward the light of day, from underground darkness toward the sparkling surface of the ancient sea. Chapter 4. The Underground Rivers. The stars continue their eternal vigil as Aqua flows through the hidden waterways beneath the ancient Greek landscape. The oracle's voice returns like the whisper of underground streams, carrying with it the wisdom of Poseidon's hidden realm, those sacred waters that flow beneath the earth, connecting all springs and wells in an invisible network of life-giving moisture. Deep beneath the olive grove where Aqua first touched the earth, she now travels through limestone caverns carved by countless centuries of patient water flow. The oracle speaks in hushed, reverent tones. Feel yourself moving through the earth's secret chambers, through galleries carved by water's gentle persistence, where stalactites hang like frozen tears and underground pools reflect starlight that has never seen the surface. The journey through the aquifer is a meditation in slow motion, where time moves differently than in the world above. Aqua flows alongside other water molecules that began their underground journey decades or even centuries ago, each one carrying its own story of rain and earth, of seasons past and springs yet to come. The oracle's voice grows softer still. This is the realm of deep time, where water moves with the patience of stone, where each drop carries the memory of ancient rains and the promise of future springs. As Aqua moves through the porous limestone, she encounters the dissolved minerals that will give her a new taste and character. Calcium carbonate, magnesium, and trace elements from the ancient seabed that once covered this land slowly join her molecular structure. The oracle explains with infinite gentleness. Feel yourself becoming enriched by the earth's gifts, carrying within you the essence of prehistoric seas, the minerals that will nourish plants and sustain life when you return to the surface. The underground journey follows pathways carved by geological forces older than human memory. Aqua flows through networks of tiny fissures and larger caverns, past underground rivers that have never seen sunlight, through chambers where the only sound is the gentle drip of water and the whisper of air moving through stone passages. The oracle's voice becomes barely audible. This is the Earth's circulatory system, as vital and complex as any living body, where water carries life and minerals through the planet's hidden arteries. In the deepest part of her underground journey, Aqua encounters an ancient spring chamber, a natural cathedral carved from living rock, where groundwater has collected for millennia. The walls glisten with mineral deposits, creating natural sculptures that catch and reflect the faintest traces of light. The oracle speaks of sacred spaces. The Greeks believed such places were the dwelling places of nymphs and water spirits, and they were not wrong. These chambers pulse with the life force of the earth itself, where water gathers strength for its return to the world above. Here, in the spring chamber, Aqua joins a vast underground pool fed by countless other streams and seepages. The water is crystal clear and perfectly still, a mirror reflecting the limestone ceiling above. The temperature is constant and cool, a refuge from the changing seasons of the surface world. The oracle's voice carries the weight of ages. Rest now in this underground sanctuary, where water gathers like prayers in a temple, where the earth holds its most precious treasure in chambers of stone and silence. The spring chamber connects to other underground waterways through a network of natural tunnels and passages. Aqua can sense the pull of these connections, the gentle current that will eventually carry her toward the surface and her reunion with the Mediterranean Sea. The oracle shares the ancient knowledge. Feel the underground rivers calling, the hidden streams that flow toward the light, carrying with them the earth's blessing and the promise of renewal. As pressure builds in the spring chamber, Aqua begins to feel the upward pull that will carry her toward daylight. The artesian pressure, created by water flowing down from higher elevations and being compressed in the underground chambers, provides the force that will push her upward through the earth. The oracle's voice grows stronger as the ascent begins. This is the earth's gift returning to the surface, the completion of the underground circle, the moment when hidden waters emerge to bless the world above. The journey upward through the spring's natural conduit is like being born again into the light. Aqua rises through layers of rock and soil, past the roots of ancient trees, through the foundations of old stone walls, always moving toward the surface where sunlight waits to welcome her return. The oracle speaks of transformation. Feel yourself changing as you rise, carrying with you the minerals and memories of the deep earth, enriched by your journey through stone and time. As Aqua nears the surface, she can sense the change in temperature and pressure, the growing influence of the world above. The oracle's voice becomes a celebration. Soon you will emerge into the light, joining the sacred spring that has blessed this land since before human memory, becoming part of the eternal cycle that connects earth and sky, past and future, drop and ocean. The spring emerges from a natural grotto carved into a hillside overlooking the sea. Ancient olive trees shade the sacred pool, their roots drinking from the overflow, their branches creating a natural temple around the water source. The oracle speaks of continuity. This spring has blessed travelers and pilgrims for thousands of years, has filled the water jars of ancient Greek households, has sustained the olive groves and vineyards that still flourish on these hills. As Aqua emerges from the earth into the spring pool, she feels the shock of sunlight after her long journey through darkness. The water around her sparkles with dissolved minerals, creating tiny rainbows in the morning light. Other springs feed into the same pool, each one carrying its own underground story, its own collection of earth-born minerals and memories. The oracle's voice grows warm with welcome. Behold the sacred spring, where underground waters return to the light, where the earth offers its gift to all living things. Feel the coolness of the water, enriched by its journey through stone, blessed by its time in the earth's embrace. The spring pool overflows into a small stream that winds down the hillside toward the sea. Aqua can sense the pull of this current, the beginning of her surface journey toward reunion with the Mediterranean waters where her adventure began. The oracle prepares us for the next phase. Now begins the journey back to the sea, through stream and river, past ancient settlements and modern villages, carrying the blessings of the underground realm toward the eternal waters that gave you birth. Fish swim in the deeper parts of the spring pool, their scales catching the filtered sunlight that penetrates the olive canopy above. Water plants wave gently in the current, their roots anchored in the mineral-rich sediment that has accumulated over centuries of spring flow. The oracle speaks of life. See how the spring sustains all manner of creatures, how the water that traveled through darkness now brings light and life to everything it touches. As the night deepens around you, dear listener, feel yourself resting in the sacred spring alongside Aqua, supported by water enriched by its journey through the earth's hidden chambers. Let your breathing match the gentle bubbling of the spring. Let your heartbeat echo the steady flow of water returning to the light after its long underground pilgrimage. The stars above shine down through the olive branches, and somewhere in their ancient light, the oracle prepares to guide us through the next phase of water's timeless journey. From the sacred spring toward the sparkling sea, from the blessing of earth toward the embrace of the eternal ocean that calls all water home. Chapter 5. The Stream's Gentle Song. The stars weave their silver threads across the night sky as Aqua begins her surface journey from the sacred spring toward the eternal embrace of the Mediterranean Sea. The oracle's voice returns like the gentle murmur of flowing water, carrying with it the wisdom of Oceanus, the ancient Greek titan who was believed to be the source of all rivers and streams, the great water-bearer whose currents connected every corner of the earth. Feel the gentle current as Aqua joins the small stream that flows from the spring pool, carrying with her the mineral gifts of her underground journey and the blessings of the earth's deep chambers. The stream bed is lined with smooth stones polished by countless years of water flow, each one a testament to the patient power of moving water. The oracle speaks in hushed, melodic tones. This is the song of the stream, the eternal music that water makes as it flows over stone and sand, through pools and riffles, carrying its gifts toward the waiting sea. The stream winds down the hillside in gentle curves, following the natural contours of the land that have been carved by millions of years of water flow. Ancient olive trees lean over the banks, their roots drinking from the stream's edge, their branches creating a canopy of silver-green leaves that filters the morning sunlight into dancing patterns on the water's surface. The oracle's voice grows softer still. See how the stream has shaped the land, and how the land has shaped the stream, in an eternal dance of water and earth that speaks of harmony and balance. As Aqua flows downstream, she encounters other waters joining her journey. Tiny rivulets from hillside springs, runoff from recent rains, the overflow from ancient wells that have served local communities for generations. Each tributary brings its own story, its own collection of minerals and memories, its own contribution to the growing stream. The oracle shares the ancient knowledge. Feel how each joining makes the stream stronger, how diversity creates abundance, how the many become one in the eternal flow toward the sea. The stream bed creates a natural symphony as water flows over different surfaces. The gentle splash over small waterfalls, the quiet gurgle through deeper pools, the soft whisper over sandy shallows. Fish dart through the clear water, their scales catching the filtered sunlight, while water striders dance on the surface tension, creating tiny ripples that spread in perfect circles. The oracle's voice becomes a lullaby. Listen to the stream's song, the music that has played here since the mountains were young, the rhythm that matches the heartbeat of the earth itself. In the deeper pools, Aqua can see the reflection of the sky above, creating windows between the realms of water and air. Dragonflies hover over these natural mirrors, their iridescent wings catching the light like tiny rainbows. The oracle speaks of reflection. See how water holds the image of the heavens, how it carries the light of stars and sun in its flowing embrace, how it connects the earth to the infinite sky above. The stream passes through a small village where ancient stone bridges span the water, their arches worn smooth by centuries of weather and time. Children play by the water's edge, their laughter mingling with the stream's gentle song, while elderly villagers sit in the shade of plane trees, watching the eternal flow with eyes that have seen many seasons pass. The oracle's voice carries warmth. Witness how the stream has blessed human life for countless generations, how it has provided water for drinking and washing, for watering gardens and turning mill wheels, how it has been a constant companion through all the changes of time. As the stream grows larger with each tributary, Aqua finds herself part of a more substantial flow, moving with greater purpose toward the sea. The banks widen, and the current becomes steadier and surer. Reed beds line the water's edge, providing shelter for waterbirds and creating natural filters that keep the stream clean and clear. The oracle explains with infinite gentleness. Feel the stream's growing confidence as it approaches the sea, the way it gathers strength from each joining, the way it carries all its gifts, minerals from deep earth, nutrients from the soil, the blessings of every spring and well, toward its oceanic home. The landscape begins to change as the stream approaches the coast. The hills give way to gentler slopes, and the Mediterranean vegetation, wild herbs and flowering shrubs, fills the air with fragrance. Aqua can sense the nearness of the sea in the changing quality of the air, the hint of salt on the breeze, the cry of seabirds overhead. The oracle's voice grows stronger with anticipation. Soon the stream will reach its destination, the place where fresh water meets salt, where the circle of the water cycle prepares to begin anew. In the final stretch before the sea, the stream widens into a small delta where sediment has accumulated over centuries, creating fertile wetlands that teem with life. Herons stand motionless in the shallows, while small fish dart between the reeds. The water moves more slowly here, taking time to deposit the minerals and nutrients it has carried from the mountains, enriching the coastal ecosystem. The oracle speaks of giving. See how the stream offers its final gifts to the land, how it shares the treasures it has gathered on its journey, how it prepares the way for new life to flourish. As Aqua approaches the mouth of the stream, she can see the vast expanse of the Mediterranean stretching to the horizon, its surface sparkling with countless points of light. The water around her begins to taste of salt as the fresh stream water mixes with the ancient sea. The oracle's voice becomes a celebration. Behold the reunion, the moment when the stream's journey ends and the ocean's embrace begins, when the drop that fell from clouds returns to the waters that gave it birth. The transition from stream to sea is gradual and peaceful, like the gentle blending of sleep and dreams. Aqua feels herself becoming part of something infinitely larger, the Mediterranean Sea that has connected civilizations for millennia, that has carried the ships of ancient traders and modern travelers, that holds within its depths the stories of countless cultures and the dreams of endless generations. The oracle's voice grows soft with reverence. Rest now in the sea's embrace, dear traveler of dreams. Feel the gentle rocking of the waves, the vast expanse of water that connects all shores, the eternal rhythm that has pulsed since the world began. Here, in the sea's embrace, the water cycle prepares for its next great turning, its next journey from liquid to vapor to cloud to rain. As the night deepens around you, dear listener, feel yourself floating peacefully with Aqua in the warm Mediterranean waters, supported by the sea's ancient embrace, rocked by waves that have traveled across oceans and centuries. Let your breathing match the gentle rhythm of the tides. Let your heartbeat echo the eternal pulse of the sea itself. The stars above reflect in the water's surface, creating a mirror of the heavens, and somewhere in their twinkling light, the oracle prepares to guide us through the final phase of water's timeless journey. From the sea's embrace back to the realm of clouds, completing the eternal circle that connects all water, all life, all dreams in the endless dance of the cosmos.